Hey everybody! Woo! Oh my god. I'm back. So let's do this. Let's do this whole Peru talk. First I want to say thank you for being so understanding with me traveling and not being able to keep up with my normal Wednesday, Sunday schedule. Definitely gonna be worth it though. So yeah, we're back to Wednesday, Sunday schedule. This is Wednesday's video, and if you saw on my Instagram, I did a poll saying, would you like me to explain Sunday Peru video? And everyone was like, yes, like please. So here I am. Let's do this. Okay, so if you don't know, which would be kind of funny if you didn't because I put it all over social media, I just got back from Peru. I was there for 9 days or 8 days. Honestly, I don't even remember. I was there for over a week. I do know that. And oh my god, it was so beautiful. But besides it being so beautiful, there's also things I wasn't mentally prepared for yet. You know, no one told me these things were going to be that severe. So I was kind of like taken off guard a little bit. So first off, Peru is in South America and it is in line with the mountain range that goes to California. So it is below the equator and it is only 1 hour behind Eastern Standard Time. So like that was amazing. I really thought I was gonna have like this crazy time difference and it was gonna be like a pain in the butt to like get over. But nope, no jet lag, no nothing. So that was awesome. The breathing. So where I live in Massachusetts, I am at like sea level. Like I live in a beach town, ocean's right there. Peru, not so much. When I went there, we were like 10,000 and 8,000 feet above sea level. So from going to 0 to all the way up, it was hard to breathe. It doesn't matter what shape you were in. You could be in the best shape ever and you would still find it hard to breathe. It was painful. Like, it was the first thing we all noticed getting off the plane. We were all like, whoa, and got like a head rush. It kind of felt like when you're sitting for too long and you stand up too fast and you get woo. That's what it felt like all the time. So I did not expect it to be that crazy. But luckily, we were taking medicine and drinking altitude medicine to help us. So I didn't get sick, so that was awesome. But I'm trying to think of my Peru video. I just finished editing it last night. I'm gonna tweak it again until Sunday. I'm just gonna keep tweaking it. But when so we landed in Lima. We landed in Lima, Peru for one night. We broke traveling down into 2 days because it was so long and it was a lot on our bodies due to the altitude and stuff. So our first night was in Lima and we got there pretty late, so we ended up just like eating and crashing. And then our flight was really early, so then we flew to Cusco, where we spent most of our time. And that was so, yeah, that was where it was higher than Lima. So that's when the breathing really started getting difficult. But that's where my Peru video picks up, is in Cusco, Peru. And you'll see us driving in our taxi. And it was like a reality shock, culture shock, just like feeling grateful for where you live, you know? You'll see that they're not wealthy down there. They're not really well established. It is a third world country, and it is very prevalent in my video that they are. But everyone you met was just so happy and was so polite, like minus the tourists, they were not polite, but locals, they were polite, and they didn't really make it known that they were a third world country. Like, they were grateful for what they had, and that was beautiful. But yeah, so video starts out in Cusco, Peru, and you will see that all the houses on like the hills are just like stacked on top of each other over and over and over and over and over and over. So that was kind of crazy. And you'll see us going up mountains, and the roads are literally like on the cliffs. Like, it's crazy. And all the roads are so tight and narrow. It was like but so that's what you first see. And then we got to go to this amazing lunch spot that was built into the side of a cliff. And oh my god, it was breathtaking. The food was amazing. That was one thing I noticed the whole time I was there, that the food was really good. Even though I didn't get too crazy and adventurous because I didn't want to get sick. But the food was really good. It was really fresh. And then, so after the lunch in the cliff, we got to our resort. So from our airplane to our resort with the lunch break and a museum stop in the middle, the whole ordeal is probably like 2 hours. So we're driving to our resort. It's like no 5-star, but it's like an oasis in the middle of nothing. Like, beautiful. Like, we were all very surprised that where we were staying was right there. So we're driving, and all of a sudden these like big gates open up with barbed wire, and you're like, this is where we're staying. Are we really going here? But we are. And then you walk around the corner, and it's luscious green grass, water features, flowers everywhere, and 360 view of mountains. Like, absolutely breathtaking. So that is the next segment. And then the first night, we all gathered around a fire, like drank some wine, and we actually got like a little performance of locals singing and dancing. So that was really nice. And there was these little girls that came around and like put flowers on our head, and it was just so cute, you know. And I think that ends the first part of the video. And then we get into the next day, and I show where we do yoga, because this was a yoga meditation retreat. So it was all about getting zened and your chakras scrubbed and just realigned and your emotional body cleansed. And it honestly came at such a good time in my life. I was really emotional and not happy. I was kind of like at a loss. So this came at like the best time, and I definitely cried on the trip. I cried a lot during yoga and during the meditations, but it was good. It was cleansing. It was everything that was like built up inside, and I just let it go. And I came back and I feel like $1,000,000. So definitely was beneficial. But I show you guys where we did our yoga, like where was our yoga studio. I showed you like our room, just give you like a little my crib tour. And it was like bare minimum, but it was like just what we needed, you know, it was just enough. And unfortunately there were some things I could not film, like I mentioned on my IG story, for religious reasons, safety reasons, and just practical reasons. But like I'll get into that in a little bit. But that's why there's a lot of, like, I don't show you us doing yoga because of the practical reason we're trying to meditate and relax. So I don't show that. But I do explain how like we did yoga like three hours every day and meditated and all this stuff. Then the video goes on to us like walking. We did a lot of walking, buses, taxis, trains, planes. That's all we did, but we did walking in our local area, And we walked to this really cool restaurant that was like another like, oh my god, where are we going? And then it was beautiful. But I showed the walk and just kind of what their street and like the village area looks like. And the place had horses, and there was a horse show while we were like, we're eating and there's a horse show. Like, it was so cool. I don't like horses, so I was like glad there was a little space. I don't trust them. They're too powerful, majestic animals for me to mess with. So there was space, which was nice. But it was cool. We got to have like a traditional Peruvian horse show in front of us, and then people danced. It was really cool. And once again, the food was really good there. We had like oven thin crust pizza, and it was really good. Then what else? I'm trying to like think. I'm like trying to go through the video in my head so everything's in line. Oh, another thing I couldn't show was we did this music meditation therapy session with this Peruvian, well, she's Brazilian and he's Peruvian, but she's lived in Peru for 11 years, this couple, at their house. And we basically laid on these mats and they played music, but it was like musics that would hit your certain chakras, and it was just like therapeutic. And when we like sat up from it, it ended up being like 2 hours long. It ended up an hour being 2 hours. And when we sat up, I literally was like, I looked at my mom and I was like, I feel so drunk. And my mom has been sober for almost 17 years, if not 17 already. And she was like, I feel drunk. I haven't felt like this in a long time. And we just like had a little laugh, because it just like our whole body, like it was just crazy. It felt so good. So I definitely recommend music therapy if that's anywhere near you. So that was really cool. That was one thing I couldn't film for meditation reasons. And just like I wanted to be there in the moment. Also, I didn't want to be rude, because that was like their living. That's what they do, and I just wanted to respect them. I also wanted to respect everyone else in the room with me and give them their piece. So that was really cool. We couldn't film that. Oh, and then we went into this awesome little town, and I literally cannot pronounce it for the life of me. Like, I will try. Let's see. It was such like, it had like a little town square. It was so cute. But that was the day we did our first ruin hike. And that was interesting because could not breathe. Oh gosh. It is Ollantaytambo. Ollantaytambo. That is a little town we visited. And that is like where we did our first ruin hike. And that was really freaking cool. Like, I didn't go to school for history or anything like that, but I'm low-key a history nerd. I'm just fascinated by the evolution of the world and what people have gone through and what man is capable of without technology. Like, it's just crazy to me. So that was cool. Also really hard to breathe. Obviously did some shopping while we were in that town. And then what else did we do? Oh, one day we went to Sole Luna, which means sun and moon. Sole Luna schools. And we actually ended up donating a bunch of clothes. My mom and I donated 2 or 3 big trash bags full of clothes from ages of like 2 to like teenagers. We like reached out to our family members. I got rid of a bunch of my clothing. So we participated that, and then everyone else on our yoga trip brought like clothes and educational stuff. And then our resort ended up donating a box of food, like snacks. So we brought that over to the school, got to play with all these amazing, beautiful kids. Like, just so sweet. They kept hugging us, and I was like, oh, I love you, I want to take you home. And the school is doing an amazing job. A lot of those kids did not have homes, were not wanted by their families due to them being different. And the school saw that was wrong and that it was unfair, and they ended up opening up a house. So they took in these kids and they're giving them the best life they can that their family was not willing to. And I cried. I think everyone else cried. We all wanted to take them home with us. But they were happy. You wouldn't know that they struggled. They were just so happy, and it was beautiful. That was a beautiful day. What else did we do? Oh, after the school trip, we went down to like a little clay shop, and that was like cool. Drank some more wine. And then my mom and I got to ride one of those little rickshaw things. So it's literally a 2-speed motorcycle that has like this body built over it. And you get in it and you're like, I'm gonna die in this. But it was cool. We made it. I'm here. We're good. So that's in the video. And then the big one, the big day was Machu Picchu. And I remember learning about Machu Picchu in high school and just thinking like, that is crazy. Machu Picchu was built by Incas, and Inca people have just disappeared basically off the face of the earth. Like, they were invaded by the Spanish and there are just no ruins of them left. Their remains are just gone. So like, that's just crazy to me. And Machu Picchu was a lost city for a very long time, and it didn't get found until 1911 by a professor here in the US. Like, and the fun fact was, he was looking for a different lost city and came across this lost city. So like, where's the other lost city? Because he's maybe still looking, I don't know. But Machu Picchu was breathtaking, because I remember, like I said, learning about it in school and seeing photos, and I just remember staying there at one point being like, am I really here? So there's like a huge segment about Machu Picchu in my video. We got a guided tour so we get more history on it, and which I was thriving about. I was like, yes, like, bookworm nerd over here, give me the facts. And then that was cool because we had to take a train. Our day started at like 5 a.m. and didn't get over till like 8 p.m. It was a long day, but so worth it. But the train we took, you got to see some beautiful scenery, and like, there was glass. Like, the side was glass, but then the top was also glass, which was really cool. And then after Machu Picchu, we did more shopping in the market, went out to lunch, and it was funny because everything is just so tight and like built on top of each other that like at our restaurant, the train like literally was going right by it. Like, it was crazy. That's in the video too. And then the markets were really cool. So much color. Like, oh, I loved it. I mean, I didn't buy anything crazy colored because I'm kind of a dull, plain, blue, white, gray, black girl. But the colors were just like, your eyes were just like so happy. And then on the way home, the train crew people put on like a fashion show, which was kind of fun. It was different. It woke us up because we were all dead tired from hiking and just being up for so long. So like, woke us up. And one of the people on our, two of the people on our trip, Jason, this big Marine vet who is just the nicest guy ever, he surprised all of us and came out rocking a scarf, and that was just amazing. Like, I think I cried laughing. And then this woman named Julie, aka Jules, she came out rocking a sweater on her head, living her best life. So that was fun. And then we came home and knocked right out. Like, dead tired, dead to the world. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, I did take a lot of airplane videos on my cell phone, but when I went to go upload them for my editing software, it didn't come out good. So the only plane action you see is like us leaving. But I'm trying to think. I feel like I'm missing stuff. I mean, like, a lot of the things I did not record were all the yoga, all the meditations, most of the fires because it was so dark, the music therapy. I didn't record a lot about the school, but the kids were so fascinated and wanted to be videotaped, but I more so wanted to be present with the kids and play with them. So that's why I didn't. And then a lot of it was like repetitive, so like I didn't do like a lot, like it all started to look the same. Oh, I remember. I went ATVing and I could not record for safety reasons because we had to shift gears, so it was not all automatic. So I needed both my hands, and we were on rough terrain, so I could not do that, but it was breathtaking. Like, oh my god, it was beautiful, and it was so much fun. Like, I'm an adrenaline person, so I was like thriving off of that. It was a really long, like, we went for a good amount of time, like over an hour. We were ATVing, which was like pretty sick, and we got to go to this like cool little lake that we normally wouldn't get to. Got to try their traditional corn, which was interesting. Their corn kernels are like that big, and you like twist it off the cob and you eat it. You don't bite. So that was interesting. And then after ATVing, we got to go to these salt mines, and that was a scary ride down. Not fun. It was like literally right on the cliff, no vegetation to block it or blur it. You were just right then and there, and these are big buses, big vans, all trying to go on one road in like both directions. Not fun. So once we got down though, it was good. And there was so many salt mines. To be exact, it was 4,500 salt mines. Well, beds. They call them mines, but they look like beds. And 800 families come together to harvest all of this salt. I almost said sand. All of the salt. And I was just like, that's insane. And then I was looking at it, I'm like, there's so many different colors, like what's going on? And he explained, the tour guide explained, that in these 4,500 salt beds, they produce 3 types of salt. First is the white, and they don't really have refrigeration down in Peru, so white is really key for preserving meats. And then they have a pink one, which they use for cooking. And then they have a brown salt, which is used for health reasons. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then I'm looking at the bed of all the brown salt. I'm like, can I just like dive in that? Like, I need some help. So that was really cool. And we got to taste the water. And I felt like I was drinking the salt water from the ocean at home. It was like, whoa. So that was really cool. That was a neat little surprise. And then not everyone on our group did ATVing. We had a free day and you had options. That's what my mom and I chose. More so me. And my mom was such a good sport and did that because she knew how badly I wanted to do it. But she ended up having a lot of fun too. And then what else am I missing? I feel like I'm missing so much. The video is over an hour. It's like an hour and 15 minutes. So I do apologize. But it is so worth it to sit there and watch it because it's so cool. Oh, and then on our last day, leaving our resort, heading out of Cusco, heading back to the airport, we got to stop at this like market. These women come together and they make traditional clothing, blankets, scarves, purses, everything, all by hand. And we got to learn about the process and the colors and what goes into it. And of course, blue is the hardest color to make. And basically, like, I bought like 3 blue things that were handmade. I was like, sorry, I'm that person that wants blue. And then they sang us like a thank you song. That's in the video. And that was cool. And then we got back to Cusco airport. Flew out of Cusco, went back to Lima where we started. stayed there for another night, had a big last family dinner with the people that were there. Two of our friends stayed behind and ended up staying in Peru for another 3 days. And then 3 of our girlfriends ended up just doing a red-eye home. So not everyone was with us, but a good portion were still together. And we had a big last family dinner. And then our flight out of Lima to Miami, Florida was at like 6:30 in the morning. And since we were leaving the country, we had to go through all customs and all that, so we had to get there at like 4 a.m. and I was dying. I'm not a morning person. But finally we get through it all. We landed in Miami and I was like, oh my god. First thing I did was like take a deep breath. I was like, oh my god, I can breathe. But that flight was like really good. My mom and I ended up being in first class from Lima, Peru to Miami, Florida. And these were like beds. Like you could literally lay down and like go to bed. And I got to have some mimosas. That was nice. And the food was bomb. I think I'm ruined forever gonna be doing first class, so that's fun. But yeah, got to Miami, so happy. Then we had a layover for like 2 hours, which was nice to decompress. And then we flew to Boston, Massachusetts, and we all had to say goodbye to each other and give big hugs, but it wasn't really goodbye. It was see you later, talk to you tomorrow. We definitely all formed a really close bond, and I've met the most amazing, kind-hearted people I've ever met. And it was funny because I was the youngest person. Like everyone there was like, the next person was 27, closest to my age, but then everything else was like 50 plus or maybe 40 plus, and I was like, you're my friends. And it was just amazing, and we were all a little sad, but it's okay. And my mom and I get into our car and we start the drive home. We get home, it's like 11 o'clock at night, get into the house, and my cats are like, where have you been? I don't know what to do. And I was just so happy to see them. I was like, come here. And yeah, it was, and then like I sat there for a minute and I was like, oh, I was just in Peru today and now I'm home. Like it was just kind of like, whoa, I just did so much traveling. And it was, yeah. And then next thing you know, it was my birthday. So it was like, I just was in another country for like over a week, come home, only have like a day to relax, 2 days to relax. No, 1 day to relax, and then that Saturday was my birthday, and I turned 24. So, yep, I am no longer 23. I am now 24, J-Logs Vlogs, and my birthday was amazing. My friends are, I have the best friends in the world. It was a great birthday. It was a great trip. So yeah, that is like my janky little update, and if you have any questions about it and you want to know more, please comment down below and I will gladly explain more. But yeah, the Peru video will be going up this Sunday. And I can't wait for you guys to see it. I hope you enjoy. I apologize for like the sound and the wind. Because we were in the mountains, it was kind of like a vortex. But yeah, as always, hit the red subscribe button. Like this video, turn on the bell notification, and leave a comment saying hi. I'd love to talk. But that's all I got for you. Bye!